Hey guys, welcome to the stream. How's it going? Oh, one moment. Need to get this on the screen properly. Huh, what happened? Oh, I guess my one moment. I'll get everything situated. How's it going on this wonderful Saturday for everyone? Um okay, there we go. I just needed to move everything a little bit to the left. I could do. Then make this a little bit wider. There we go. That looks good. Ooh. All right, guys. So, was it Thursday? Yeah, Thursday. The Villainous options update came out for the basically they released all these subclasses already, and this is their second go through of them. And I've read all the subclasses already. I haven't read the feats, but these are all new, aren't they? So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, 4 origin feats, and it looks like 4 epic boon feats. Titan looks fun, but Hell Knight is the one I am most excited for. Yeah. So, this is my first time going in depth over it all, but I have read through Circle of the Titan changes. I've read through the Hell Knight, and I've read through the Demonic Sorcerer. The Demonic Sorcerer I have read the least of, though. So this will be my first time going through it in depth. But if you guys don't know, hi, I'm Warner's. I make videos here on YouTube, and I also come out with my own homebrew content every month on my Patreon. And actually, just today, technically yesterday, I released a playtest for my Warrior of Sanctuary Monk. So you can check that out if you'd like. What's going on? I've never tried to pronounce your YouTube name, by the way. Is it Ophidian? Ophidian? And Kevin. Hi Kevin. Hello, year 2047. Welcome everyone to the stream. Anyway, though, so some of the problems with the Circle of Titan Druid that they had in the first playtest is they made it a monstrosity, but then they didn't specify that the stuff that works with your beast form works in this new monstrosity form. So stuff like Primal Strike didn't work. It had a really low AC for some reason, even though, well, it kind of made sense. In D&D, a lot of big things like ogres, for example, can have a low AC because they're technically easy to hit. But oh my gosh, my cat. Okay, we're good. But then things like, there's some bigger enemies that, yes, they're really big, but their skin is really tough, And so I get why they initially made the AC low, but it just isn't fun to play as a player option, and people had a lot of ways to get around it. So yeah. Yeah, I definitely am not super tight on time today, so I'm probably going to be able to go pretty in depth. Yeah. If you guys, one thing I will say though, just we'll have a little chat before we get going. I've told this to some people, but I haven't announced it on a stream or in a video yet. I'm actually moving overseas in a few months. I used to live in South Korea, a long time ago. That was last time I lived in South Korea was 2017. And my wife, who I met there, is South Korean, and we're actually moving back. So I'm going to be moving in October or November. And what's really cool about that is it's going to be hard for me to find a regular job there. So I'm going to be trying YouTube full time, at least for the first like year or so. So you guys should be seeing a lot more content from me once I get all settled in there. But in the meantime, as I'm planning to move overseas, my content creation might go down temporarily. But then when I get all settled there, it'll be back to normal. So yeah. Uh things are pretty chill at least for the next couple months though. When I start getting closer though, oh man. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into this. So yeah, we have the Circle of Titan Druid. I'm going to skip a lot of the flavor text stuff because we're here for mechanics. If you want to read my opinions of the flavor stuff, you can check out my previous stream when I went over this initially. I'll read a little bit of what they say here, though. Oh, no. This is just their typical stuff. I'll go to the article, actually, real quick, because I remember seeing they specified some things in the article. I'm not. I'm gonna skim it. I just want to see what they said about specific subclasses. So, Path of Lament subclass was not a sad story. Respondents felt like it had great flavor and great features. You might see the subclass appear in future product with some minor tweaks. I think that's mostly good. I did really like the subclass. Uh, I think honestly, what it mostly needs is a name change. you know, I feel like a lot of people felt that way. And then the Pestilence Domain Cleric subclass, positive sentiment was infectious. You might see the subclass appear in a future product with some minor tweaks. Yeah, I did say I did like the Pestilence Domain. GSR, what's up, Bruce? How you doing? I hope those minor tweaks are having to do with I agree that it only needed minor tweaks, but those minor tweaks are very important. So, yeah. What up? Yeah, just going over it. Looking at what they said about the stuff. Um Obviously the Hell Knight fighter and the Circle of Titan and the demonic sorcerer need revisions because that's what they have in this. Ophidian. Saw that you covered this on your own channel the other day. Yeah. Yeah, Bruce is on it, man. Bruce always covers stuff like the second it uh is posted, which is awesome. I'm surprised by this though. They said the Warrior Venom Monk was praised for its theme and creativity, as well as the perceived viability of how it approached a poison-focused character option. It seems like the Warrior Venom Monk they're just done with, which I was kind of surprised by that. Like, it was good, but like, I feel like it needed a lot of work. Good talks about the UA on the Discord too. Yeah. By the way, Kevin, if you haven't, Bruce's Discord is super active. I'm honestly more active on there than my Discord. I'm just really bad at like setting up Discord conversations and stuff. And I don't. There's not enough people in there too. Admittedly, but they can be fun at the very least. We see what we can see be adapted for our own homebrew. Yeah, thanks for your monkey showed yesterday. Sounds awesome. Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm super excited to. That one is very simple, but I think it's pretty fun. It's probably my lowest word count monk I've made in a while. Like, yeah, very, very short and sweet, you know? Oh, no, it's totally fine. Don't worry. I have a good amount of time today. This was very encouraging though. when they talked about the Path of the Death Knight and the Path of the Lich. Um, they talked about you might see these feats appear in a future product, but not without some in-house adjustments, such as exploring options for the Death Knight that are friendlier to a wider cast of martial classes. I like that because it was very much like paladins get to use this basically. Uh, yeah. Um, and yeah, the primordial patron warlock, I totally understand why they decided to cut it, at least for now. It was kind of similar to, I don't know, yeah, it just the flavor wasn't there. Like they could have made it better. I feel like it could have been really good, but yeah, it was probably one of the weakest thematically. I have to agree with them pulling it for now. 100% they needed to make the Path of the Death Knight applicable to other martial classes. Yeah, they really did. And I feel like it will be pretty cool if they're able to do that effectively. Yeah, just talking. Uh which it seems Watsy noticed the feedback and in Inquiry's update said we'll be looking to do that thankfully. I'm honestly shocked that the Path of the Lich survived too, because it was really like it it made sense if you look at the it makes sense if you look at the Lich stat block and try to make it a player option, but it was like you need to be up in the front lines, but you're a caster. Yeah, it was just there was a lot going on. Yeah, a lot of people want to be a Lich. I just hope they change it significantly. Should I have the old UA pulled up so we can compare? I think I'll do that. Yeah, I'm not gonna do it like side by side, but I'll like switch between them. Oh, also, this is something to keep in mind, guys. This is interesting. So I feel like in the past, for example, they did the horror subclasses, then they did the Scion, then they did arcane subclasses, then they had the apocalyptic subclasses in the middle, and then they had arcane subclasses again. The past 3 UAs have just been villainous options. Just villainous options 2, and the update. So yeah, they've just been going all in on the villainous options. Season of Champions is coming for Christmas, and that tattooed monk should be on that, but there's no way that subclass is surviving any more than the Hexblade will. Actually, if I have time after I'm done going over this, I kind of want to talk about what we think is next. Because based on the roadmap, it seems like 2 books are coming out by the end of the year. And that's in 6 months. So like we're halfway through the year. We know obviously Arcana Unleashed is coming out, and from what I remember, it seemed like they're probably going to announce it within a couple weeks, like the actual release date. I assume so. And then there's going to be a 3rd book. A lot of people keep thinking that the Gary Gygax's son's book, what's it called? Um, it's coming out soon. It's like what's that character that he has that anyway, I think the Gary Gygax's son book, I think it's going to be similar to it's going to be more similar to Exploring Eberron, where it's going to be a third party book. Oh, Watsy, yeah, 2 books for Arcana season, 1 player book, 1 Red Wizard campaign. Yeah, I'm excited for the Red Wizard campaign actually because I'm currently DMing a game where Zastam is the main villain. Oh, has that been announced yet? Legends of Greyhawk, Survivors of Safeton. I thought it was, I thought it was called like what's that acid arrow spell? Melf. There's a Melf book coming out. Melf book. Melf's Guide to Greyhawk. Yeah. It says officially licensed Dungeons and Dragons source book. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's a Melf. These must be adventures for Legends of Greyhawk. It's Melf's Guide, though. So it might be player options. It was revealed at GaryCon a few months ago. It's called The Shieldlands. Yeah. Okay, that's a YouTube video. I don't want to watch a YouTube video right now. Yeah, but it says it's officially licensed Dungeons and Dragons source book, so I guess it's gonna be just like a regular book. Anyway, let's look at the Circle of Titan. So if we look at the old one, I want to look at the spell list specifically. How's it going? Is it stainless? How's it going? Welcome. So Circle of Titan. So Cure Wounds, Longstrider, Thaumaturgy. Now it's Enlarge, Reduce, Thaumaturgy, Thunderwave. That's actually kind of interesting because, by the way, these spells you can cast while in your Titan form. So you could become a larger size earlier with Enlarge from Enlarge Reduce. That's kind of cool. Thaumaturgy, Thunderwave. Thunderwave is, a lot of people don't think it's that good of a spell. I actually like Thunderwave because of the push effect. I think it's underrated. But maybe I'm just, does Thunderwave change with your size? Nah, it's just a 15-foot cube. It's always a 15-foot cube. But I guess you have, if you're bigger, you have more options of where to have it come from, if that makes sense. Like it can be 15 feet from a larger area. Then level 5, we have fear, I mean. And we used to have fear. Then Fire Shield at level 7, and we used to have Stone Skin. Fire Shield is definitely a better spell. Is it thematic? Does it thematically make sense though? I'm not sure. And then Destructive Wave is the same. So that Legends of Greyhawk book is partnered content. Okay, cool. But then we have level 3 Titan form. When you use Wild Shape, you can adopt a Titan form, choosing from the Behemoth, Leviathan, and Insectoid. This is all the same. Stat blocks presented later in this subclass's description. You can stay in a Titan form for 10 minutes instead of a number of hours. So yeah, this is a big change. It used to be the same as Wild Shape. Now it's 10 minutes. This is very similar to the Circle of Stars Druid. Starry form, it only lasts 10 minutes. So I think it's a pretty fair time limit. Then Legends of Greyhawk, Dreams of the Chain God, 5.5e in August, and Legends of Greyhawk, The Tear Stained Idol in September. Okay, we're getting a lot of Greyhawk stuff then. Nice. Ooh. And then we got each Titan form gains additional benefits when you reach the specified Druid levels, as noted in the respective stat block. Yeah, you determine what it looks like, all that stuff. Blah 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 blah. And here's a little table for ideas of appearance. How's it going? How's the weather over there? Right now, it is. I'm in Kansas City right now. That's where I live, by the way, if you didn't know. It's 81. 81 degrees. Yeah. I remember someone saying there was some line. I remember reading some line that said the Titan. Or maybe it says it in the actual stat blocks. We'll get to it. Let's look at the stat blocks. Yeah. Okay. Behemoth. The line where it says like these features work. Oh, features that apply to your beast forms. I found it. Features that apply to your beast forms also apply to your Titan form. I feel like that fixes. This is something I found interesting. That fixes the whole thing where, like they could have kept it a monstrosity with adding that line, right? Because they'd switched it so that you keep your creature type, which I think is kind of weird because that means that you're a humanoid even when you're in your Titan form. You know what I mean? Like, I think they overcorrected. Anyway, though, uh, Behemoth, large, and then huge at level 10, Gargantuan at level 14. Yeah, they changed the creature type. It used to be a monstrosity, and now it is your creature type and alignment don't change. Yeah, it's just like they fixed the problem with it, but now you're humanoid when you're a Titan, which that's weird. Okay, I'm looking at the old one. Yeah. So and then so the AC of Behemoth used to be 11 plus your Wisdom mod. Now it's 13 plus your Wisdom mod. That means that you're gonna max out at AC 17, which is pretty fine. You know, it's the same as Barkskin. Uh, yeah, they fixed the problem too many times. They overcorrected. Uh, this is interesting. The temp HP is 4 times your Druid level instead of 2 times. I think it was 3 times your Druid level. Well, I can look it up. So it used to be 2 times your Druid level. For those who don't know, the regular wild shape now in 5.5e is your Druid level and temp HP. So at level 3, you'd have 3 temp HP when you wild shape. Then Moon Druid gets 3 times your Druid level. So you would get 9. And then in the playtest, they went like kind of halfway to 2 times your Druid level. But now it's 4 times your Druid level. I think that's fine. I've heard some people online thinking it's too much, and this is a 10-minute form, and yeah, I think it's fine. Like 17 AC, 4 times your Druid level. Yeah. Oh yeah, let's look it up. Enlarge reduce. For the duration, the spell enlarges or reduces a creature or an object you can see within range. Yeah, so it works on anything. Ooh. Your strength and dexterity scores are equal to your wisdom modifier. Uh, so Bruce, you mentioned this in your video, and I find this strange as well. I don't understand why your dex is equal to your wisdom score. Like, maybe so they didn't have to have a flat number because, huh? Because it says your con, int, whiz, and charisma don't change. Yeah, they could have just added dex to this, and that would have been fine. Uh, did it used to be humanoids only in a previous edition? Well, first of all, does wild shape make you a beast, or do you keep your creature type? I actually don't even remember. Uh, Shapeshift into a beast form. Yeah, you shapeshift into a beast form, so you become a beast. In the previous editions, yeah, that was what separated person spells from monsters. Spells like charm person versus charm monster. You're talking about enlarge reduce, yeah. Yeah, so wild shape turns you into a beast, but Titan form makes you stay a humanoid. You retain your creature type. It says that in wild shape. Oh yeah, your game statistics are replaced by the beast's stat block, but you retain your creature type. Okay, so they just made it like how wild shape already is. I guess that makes sense then. Oh. Yeah, but it is kind of cool to be a monstrosity because stuff like hold person won't work on you. Wow, so that means that hold person works on wild shaped druids. That's kind of weird. Anyway, well, if you're a humanoid, that is, you might be a fae or something. Then we got dark vision out to 60 feet. We got siege monster still. You deal double damage to objects and structures. You get multi attack at level 5. Ted from Nerd Immersion hypothesized on his stream that it may have been changed due to how the monstrosity type interacted with spells. Yeah, but I think that's kind of fun. But I don't know. That's just me. I guess they haven't officially made a monstrosity species option. So, like, maybe if it was Fey, they would have been okay with it. Uh, not that that would make sense thematically, but yeah. I think it's just like any other species type. I don't even know if there's any like there's spells that affect fae, fiends, and undead and elementals. I don't even think there's spells that affect monstrosities specifically. So maybe that's why it is there's no downsides to monstrosities. But anyway, so multi attack. They can make two rend attacks level 5. Rend melee attack roll bonus equals your spell attack modifier. Reach 10 feet. Hit 1d8 plus your wisdom mod slashing damage. This damage increases to 1d8 when you reach druid. By 1d8 when you reach druid levels 6 to 2d8 and 12 to 3d8. So you get extra attack and up to 3d8 per attack. That's pretty crazy. That's pretty strong for like a caster. Huh. Yeah, maybe the reason why they didn't go monstrosity is it literally has no downsides, unlike even the Fey creature option. I know that this isn't overpowered or anything, but that is I don't think we've seen it is only 2 attacks. So I guess it's not like this is a fighter making 4 attacks. But yeah, that is pretty strong though. This is definitely a effective damage dealer. Especially if you can cast something like conjure woodland beings before you start using rend. And then we have incandescent breath. You expend a level 1 plus spell slot, dexterity saving throw, DC equals your spell save DC. Each creature in a 5-foot wide, 60-foot long line. Failure 2d10 radiant damage per level of the spell slot expended. Okay, so it's actually pretty low damage. And there's no secondary effect. That's just okay. It's cool thematically, but yeah, that's pretty low. It also doesn't scale at all, as far as I know. When you get it at level 3, it's good. But yeah. And that requires a resource with a spell slot cost. For what is worth, Wizards does have one monstrosity race, Thycreen. Ah, that's true. Okay. Yeah, so there is precedent for it. Not in 5.5e, but yeah, that's good to keep in mind. And we get bonus action Rampager. You have to be level 10 though. You expend a level 1 plus spell slot and move up to half your speed without provoking opportunity attacks. When you enter the space of an enemy that is at least 2 sizes smaller than you for the first time on a turn, that creature is subjected to the following effect: a strength saving throw. DC equals your spell save DC. Failure, the target has the prone condition. If the target already has the prone condition, it instead takes 1d10 bludgeoning damage per level of the spell slot expended. Okay. And it seems like it can affect more than one creature. And I think it's good. And I understand why they're making it cost a resource. But like, so the incandescent breath, I feel like makes sense thematically that it's using your magical powers to do. But thematically speaking, Rampager feels weird that that's using your spell slots. It's like you're using your magic to make yourself stomp better. Like, I don't know. But yeah, it definitely makes sense mechanically. Because that could be a little too strong. If you could just do it every bonus action. And the spell slots do give it nice scaling. And the Medusa species in the upcoming Frontiers of Eberron book that they just announced is also a monstrosity. Oh, is that third party though? So yeah, I think Behemoth is good, and it's probably what most people are going to be using most of the time. And let's look at the Leviathan. Um, very similar to the Behemoth. I'm going to skip all the things that are the same. That's the Keith Baker Eberron books. So not official. Third party? Yeah, I see what you're saying. Honestly, Keith Baker is doing great. Like, Exploring Eberron was great. I feel like his books are the closest you can get to a official product that's not technically official. Since he's literally the creator of Eberron. Okay, so the Leviathan has a swim speed of 40 feet, unlike the Behemoth. It can breathe air and water. It has the same siege monster trait. Rend is the same, but it has this different bonus action. When you expend a level 1 plus spell slot and emit a toxic miasma, Constitution saving throw, DC equals your spell save DC. Each creature of your choice and a 10-foot emanation originating from yourself. If they fail, they take 2d4 poison damage per level of the spell slot expended. That's nice. And the target has the poison condition until the start of your next turn. So yeah, if you think about this, guys, that's like you could, like, let's say you used a 5th level spell slot, hypothetically speaking. It does scale, but only when you use a higher level spell slot. So that would be like 25 poison damage in an AoE, and then all those creatures are automatically, not automatically, they have to fail a con save, but they're poisoned. There is no half damage though. So it's, yeah. Yeah, the Ren damage scaling is pretty good. Yeah, so it's 1d8, then 2d8 level 6, 3d8 level 12, and you get 2 attacks at level 5. Yeah, honestly, now that I've like fully like thought about it, I feel like half damage on a save would be good. Uh, yeah, I think that makes sense because the poison condition only lasts until the start of your next turn. That's really short. Like I wouldn't pick this over Behemoth most of the time unless I'm in a watery area, if that makes sense. Yeah, so I think they should make this. I would prefer if they what would I prefer? I think if they made it half damage on a save and um the poison condition lasted for a minute with resaves, I think that would be cool. Um I think acid damage could be pretty good. It also like it would make sense. Toxic deluge, that sounds like it could be either acid or poison. And also, now that I think about it, when I imagine like a kraken type creature in water, like doing some sort of like yeah, there are octopuses, octopi that are toxic, and that would probably be poison damage. But this is like an AOE effect, and it's like this isn't just a kraken thing. This is like a supernatural monster. Acid, I think, would be totally fitting. So yeah, if I were to recommend anything, switch this to acid damage, make it half damage on a save, and make the poison condition. Maybe that's enough. Maybe that's enough. Yeah, a more reliable damage type and half damage on a save. Yeah. Let's go ahead and look at the insectoid though. This was my favorite previously, mostly because I just like uh I like to be able to heal. I tend to, it's very rare that I have a character that can't heal party members. Yeah, just poison damage is so unreliable, especially at higher levels. It's better than a lot of people think. Make it 2d12 poison with half on a save and poison until cert. Yes, so that could be a good option because poison damage is unreliable. A lot of game design has made it so that poison damage is higher damage than most other damage types when it does come up, but it's because it's unreliable. And so I feel like that kind of balance has been pretty good. Um at least if you're in the water, there probably aren't a ton of undead. That's true. But you also have a 40-foot speed, so this can reliably be used outside of the water too. So that's one thing to keep in mind. And you can breathe air and water. So this is the water option, but it's also a land option. I feel like the Leviathan might be good to use in more enclosed spaces because with ramp, I guess they're about the same because this has friendly fire. Uh, I'm just trying to make the poison sound better. Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and look at the insectoid. So has the same size stuff as the other one, same AC, same temp HP. It has a fly speed, but the fly speed isn't available until level 10. That's unnecessary. I feel like that's unnecessary. Um, especially because they picked 10. I understand why they picked 10 because a lot of the other upgrades are level 10 for a lot of these. But I feel like level 5 would have been fine. Or even like level 8 like it is with normal wild shape. Yeah. But yeah, I think they should change this to 5. It's already like like the other types don't get a speed change at level 10. So it's not like everyone gets a speed change at level 10. So yeah, they can make this different. Okay. And then yeah, they all get the dark vision out to 60 feet. They get flyby at level 10, which is very good. And they get siege monster. Huh. I feel like before level 10, I haven't read energizing pollen yet, but before level 10, I don't really see a reason to use insectoid. Yeah, that was on the Leviathan, right, Kevin? The Inky Escape and the telepathy. The Inky Escape, let's look at it real quick. Was pretty interesting. Also, it didn't specify it had to be in water. Uh, it's a reaction though. I think they wanted to have them all have a bonus action. I think that's why they did that, to make it more uniform. So they parody each other. Yeah, I think that's the reason they did that. Okay, let's read Energizing Pollen, because this is basically the only thing they have before level 10. You can expend a level 1 plus spell slot like all the other ones, and can move up to half your speed without provoking opportunity attacks while emitting a cloud of healing pollen. Okay. So you get a little speed boost, and you're emitting the and you get to disengage. When you move within 5 feet of another creature during this movement, you can restore a number of hit points equal to 2d6 per level of the spell slot expended. So kind of like the Peace Domain Cleric. A creature can receive this healing only once per turn. Okay, so that's kind of cool. It definitely, I feel like the mechanics of it make a little more sense, because in the old version, it was just like an AoE. It was, yeah, choose any number of creatures within 15 feet of yourself. And that's actually more limited, because it's only creatures within 15 feet of yourself. Again, you become very big, so it's more than you think. But this makes it so you're flying around and the pollen is like coming off of your gossamer wings. Yeah. Let me read the comments a bit. Let me read the chat, I mean. I want a slight buff to the breath. If not damage, make it longer. If I spend a 3rd level spell slot, it should get something akin to the lightning bolt. You know what? I just realized when I first read Incandescent Breath, I didn't realize it scaled. How did I not read that? Yeah, per level of the spell slot expended. I think the Behemoth has a lot going on for spell. I guess they all do, except for the Leviathan. Huh. There's a lot of spell slot expenditure happening, which I guess makes sense for a full caster. Like, we have to keep in mind that, yes, druids are full casters. Oh, man. Maybe not the 88 damage, but surely the 100-foot long line. Also, all of your damage should bring back adding your wisdom modifier like in the previous UA. I think that would definitely smooth the damage numbers out a bit, adding your wisdom mod. It is nice too because if you roll 2d10, there's a possibility you get 2 1s, and that feels bad. Your epic incandescent breath is just two damage. uh I'd also like to see a fourth form. We don't have a burrowing form. That could be cool. I have noticed though, WotC tends to like to do things in threes. So I don't know if they would do that, but that would be cool. Huh. I think I like energizing pollen, but I'd like to see insectoid maybe have a faster speed, you know, to really, because it says you move up to half your speed without provoking opportunity attacks while emitting a cloud of healing pollen. When you move within 5 feet of another creature during this movement, you can restore a number of hit points. So that means that it's only half your movement speed. So you can only move 20 feet, and the creatures that are within 5 feet within you during that movement are the ones you can heal. You know what I mean? So it's not like 60 feet. It's specifically just that 20 feet of extra movement you get. Also, I just realized something. This is not a bonus action. This you can just do. That's very important to keep in mind, guys. This is oh no, it's one of your actions. Never mind. It's even more expensive. It's your full action to do it. Because it's listed under your actions. Your full action to do this. Huh. And unlike the Leviathan and the Behemoth, the Insectoid doesn't get a bonus action. Huh. That's kind of weird. How's it going, Douglas? Welcome. I'm just here to be sociable. No worries, Bacon Commander. Not interested in any villainous update stuff, really. Titan looks amazing balls for a regular PC, though, to me. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Uh, it's pretty sweet. How do you guys feel about energizing pollen also being a bonus action ability? The huh. Why do you guys think they did that? Do you think that maybe they thought it would be too powerful, like too much healing? I could see that being the case. Yeah, it would just parody well with all the other bonus actions. And I feel like I would be less likely to use it. Like, I would even be okay with reducing the power if I got to use it as a bonus action, but I don't think that's needed. How's it going, Russell? Ooh, hey, Bacon. The upside of this is less villainous and more dastardly, as the devs put it. It's partially why the Hell Knight no longer sends people to hell when they die. Yeah. It is nice healing, but like so 2d6 per level. Huh. I guess something to think about. Okay, like let's think of like mass. I think mass cure wounds. Actually, no, let's go with bonus action. Mass healing word. Because druids have mass healing word on their spell list. Actually, they don't. Never mind. They have mass cure wounds though. Well, let's consider this. So, third level spell, you can target up to 6 creatures, and you do 2d4 plus, let's say, 5 for your spellcasting ability modifier. That's 10. That's 10 healing to 6 creatures within 60 feet. You don't have to move or anything. Third level spell. Whereas if you are, let's say you want to heal 6 creatures with this form, and let's use a third level spell as well. That is that's 21 healing if you can get all 6 creatures while you're moving for a third level spell slot. It's definitely very good. But that's not how it is. It's not an action. I mean, it's not a bonus action, it's a full action. So let's actually go to Mass Cure Wounds. That's if it was a bonus action. It's about twice as powerful as Mass Healing Word. So Mass Cure Wounds is a 5th level spell, and it does 5d8 plus your spellcasting ability modifier to creatures within 30 feet. So that's about 22.5 healing. And it'd be 35 healing at a 5th level spell slot. Huh. So I think I think if it was 2d4 and a bonus action, that would be pretty balanced. So like it's a little less than it currently is, but not too much. Or maybe it could even be like 1d8 plus your wisdom mod? I don't know. Or 1d6 plus your wisdom mod? Either way though, I don't hate it. Um right on, Kevin. It can be flavored how you want. People dependent, of course. Yeah. Yeah, the villainous options. I'm interested in this druid class, thinking of letting my player use this option at a later date for her to take revenge. Oh, that could be cool. I don't know. I'd much rather choose the behemoth. Yeah, but like there could be situations where your party is downed because you have to keep in mind you can just use this with a wild shape use. And after like level like is it 5? Level 5, you can just use a first level spell slot. So it could be worth like let's say a lot of party members are downed, it could be worth it to bonus action go into insectoid form and do a big AoE heal on everyone, with your action. Anyway, though, that's the forms. Let's go ahead and go over Dire Impact level 6. So we got Elemental Rend. Whenever you hit with your Titan form's Rend attack, you can cause it to deal your choice of Acid, Cold, Fire, Lightning, or Thunder damage rather than its normal damage type. Yeah, it does depend on the environment for sure. Okay. Elemental damage types. That's fitting, I guess. And then we have Shockwave. Once per turn, immediately after you move at least half your speed, you can create a Shockwave in a 10-foot emanation originating from you. Each creature in the emanation must succeed on a Constitution saving throw against your spell save DC or have the prone condition. Okay, no action cost. This just happens once per turn if you move at least half your speed. It does have friendly fire though, but you can choose not to do it. You can create a shockwave. Okay. And it happens after, like, immediately after you move at least half your speed. You can then do this if you want. That could be kind of cool for the insectoid because you could, like, let's say your party is all, like, in one area and enemies are in the other area. You could, like, do the heal thing. And then at the end of your movement, you could do the shockwave. Ooh. Uh, I don't know. I'm just not sold on the healing completely. What's the Leviathan like? The Leviathan has like a AoE, a bonus action AoE poison damage ability that has friendly fire, and it gives them the poison condition until the start of your next turn. It's just okay. Um, the damage type adaptation is nice. Yeah, it's nice. Uh, they lost Inky Escape and as a bonus action Poison Glut. Yeah, yeah. Ads are ruthless today. Oh, really? I set it to low. That sucks. Honestly, I don't even care about the ads on live. Do I even have the option to turn it off? Because I might just turn off ads if I can. Yeah, I'm not like making I'm not like making a lot of money on the YouTube ads when I'm streaming, you know? I can't do that right now. I'll look at it later though. The friendly fire is a deal breaker. Yeah. Watched Inside Check and he said the Titan form needs more of a nerf because it makes Moon Druid cry in the corner. Yeah, for about 10 minutes and 1 second, then Moon Druid is laughing. Yeah, I actually watched his video on it too. He seemed really concerned about the AC and the temp HP, and I'm not worried about that. You have to keep in mind too that because you are so large, you're kind of a punching bag. Like you're gonna be tanking in a way just because you're such a big target, you know? Ugh. You know, depending on what size you choose, but yeah, especially at higher levels. Oh, well, thank you for hanging out, Douglas. Have a great rest of your day. Ooh. And then we have Primal Havoc. You can choose to become huge when assuming your Titan form if you're in a big enough space. Okay. I think the temp HP is correct due to the nature of the wild shape. Yeah, I agree. I agree, Russell. Because you're bigger, you know? And it's not like it's just one more druid level's worth. So at level 3, you're just getting 3 more HP than the moon druid. Like it's and again, yeah, that does mean at level 20 you're getting 20 more HP. But that's just 20 HP. Like I don't know, it's not that much. Like 20 HP is a lot less when you're level 20, you know. Multi-classing build idea stream would be sick. Oh yeah, that could be cool. Might not be able to stick around much longer either. We're about an hour behind, and I need to get to lunch soon. Oh, totally understandable, Kevin. Sorry about that. Um, Primal Havoc. Yeah, Tough and Tide immediately after you assume a huge or larger Titan form. You can expend a level +1 spell slot for the duration of the form. You gain a bonus to your AC equal to half your expended spell slots level, rounded up. Huh. Okay, maybe I'm convinced a little bit about AC stuff. Because it's basically 17 AC if you have a 20 wisdom. Got a whole dozen donuts in the store last night. So your watch shape only lasts for 10 minutes total. You're basically a rocket launcher while the Moon Druid is a shotgun. Yeah, that makes sense. Huh. You gain bonus to your AC equal to half the expended spell slots level. Okay, so round it up. So if you spend a third level spell slot, you get a +2 bonus to your AC for like a 19. And remember, like Kevin just said, this only lasts 10 minutes. Maybe it's fine. But you could technically like I could see a high level one doing like a 5th level spell slot for like a really intense combat. And that would be like what? That'd be 3 added to your AC, and your AC is 17. So you're looking at a 20 AC. That's not crazy, you know? And I don't think people would use like a 6th level spell slot to get 21. Like that would be yeah. And you don't get it to level 10. So maybe it's fine. Above it all, while you are huge or larger, you're in your Titan form, difficult terrain caused by heavy snow, ice, rubble, or undergrowth doesn't cause you extra movement. They should just say that you ignore difficult terrain. Keep it simple, why not? And then Monstrous Appetite. Okay, this is a weird ability, but I like it. You can become Gargantuan, Grappling Rend once per turn. While you are huge or larger and you hit a creature with your Titan form's Rend attack, you can give the target the grappled condition. Escape DC equals your spell save DC. You can have only one target grappled in this way at a time. Okay. And then Swallow as a bonus action. While you are Gargantuan, you can choose one large or smaller creature grappled by you. The target makes a strength saving throw against your spell save DC. On a failure, you swallow the target. The grappled condition ends on it. A swallowed creature has the blinded condition and restraint conditions, has total cover against attacks and other effects outside of your stomach, and takes acid damage at the start of each of your turns. To determine this damage, roll a number of d12s equals your wisdom modifier, so like 5d12. That's pretty spicy damage. The number of creatures you can have swallowed at a time equals your wisdom modifier, but it takes a whole turn for each. So it's not like it's going to happen. It's not like you're going to have a bunch all the time, especially when you're level 14. The number of creatures you can have swallowed. Yeah. You must maintain concentration to hold swallowed creatures in your stomach. If you lose concentration or leave your Titan form, you regurgitate all swallowed creatures, each of which falls in a space within 10 feet of you and has the prone condition. Okay. I was too sick to go grocery shopping yesterday. Otherwise, I'd also be good to go. Also, I'm lazy and don't want to mix up any tunas today. Yeah. No, totally. Hope you feel better soon. Munches, Fruity Pebbles top donut. Dude, that sounds so good. Bear in mind, a Tesseract has an AC of 25. So if I hear right, AC increase due to subclass isn't that bad, right? Yeah, I don't think it's that bad. Now that I've like fully thought it through. Yeah. Okay. I think this swallow option is cool, but it sucks that it requires concentration. But it is pretty powerful. So I feel like people will use it, especially if they're really trying to roleplay their subclass, you know? So yeah, I think I like it. I want some changes to the stat blocks. Make energizing pollen bonus action. Maybe adjust the healing a bit, but yeah, just making it a bonus action would be nice instead of a full action. Change toxic deluge. Make either the damage higher, or make it half damage on a save, or make it acid damage, or make the poison condition lasts longer, or a combination of one of those three. Rampager's fine. It's pretty good. You're definitely going to be utilizing your spell slots for abilities a lot, but you are a full caster, so that's something to keep in mind. Yeah. There's a lot of spell slot usage. With the poor action economy, Circle of Titan looks more like DM monster slash plot device. Um, I don't think it has poor action economy in most of the forms. It's just that you're not going to be casting spells very often. That's kind of. I think you're going to use a concentration spell. I don't think you're going to use these spells that you can use in Titan form very much. Um, and because so many of your abilities cost spell slots, yeah, I feel like this pushes you. Like you almost don't even feel like a druid anymore. That is kind of weird when you think about it. But again, it only lasts 10 minutes, so when you're not in combat, you're probably not going to be in this. So that's something to keep in mind. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the Hell Knight. I think it needs some work still, the Titan Druid, but I feel like they definitely improved it. So yeah. What bothers me about this UA is they buffed the Hell Knight fighter while still nerfing it, but make the Titan Druid a bottle rocket fighter barbarian hybrid. This feels like a 3.5 Dustblade. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. I'm excited to go over the Hell Knight because I feel like they did some unique stuff to it. Even though I still think they need to make some other changes. Okay, so skip the flavor stuff. We're focusing on the mechanics for this stream. So Diabolical Gift, you get Devil's Sight, and you can out to 120 feet. Infernal, and if you already know Infernal, you can pick a different language, and you get Deception, Performance, or Sleight of Hand skills. That's fine. Hellforged Weapon. It used to be called. What did it used to be called? It used to be Hellfire Weapon, which is like a specific lore thing. So they changed it to a more generic thing. When you take the attack action, you can imbue each weapon that you are holding with Hellfire. So this is nice for dual wielders, transforming it into a Hell-forged weapon. It remains transformed in this way until you use this feature again. You have the unconscious condition, or the weapon is more than 5 feet away from you for 1 minute or more. You can also end this effect early, no action required. Keep in mind, this is not restricted to melee weapons. I think that's important to know. While you wield a Hellforged weapon, it sheds dim light in a 5-foot radius, and whenever you deal damage with the weapon, you can deal your choice of cold, fire, or necrotic damage, or its normal damage type. Choose when you imbue the weapon with Hellfire, which is nice. This used to just be fire damage. Now it actually does something. Like now it actually gives you more options that are thematic. Cold, fire, or necrotic. Like those options. And then also, this means you could use this with Coldcaster. That's actually pretty sweet. Oh man, something to think about, guys. Then we got level 3 Infernal Wound. You have an Infernal Wound die, which is a d6. When you hit a creature with your Hellforged weapon, you can deal extra damage equal to 1 roll of your Infernal Wound die. This extra damage is of the same type you choose when you imbued the weapon with Hellfire. You also give the target an Infernal Wound if it doesn't already have one. While wounded in this way, the target takes damage of the chosen damage type equal to 1 roll of your Infernal Wound die at the start of each of its turns. The wound lasts for 1 minute, or until the target regains hit points, or until the target or a creature within 5 feet of the target takes an action to staunch the wound. You can use this feature a number of times equals to your con mod, and you regain all when you finish a short or long rest. So nice. I love my kaiju as much as the next person, but it still doesn't feel quite right in the design. Yeah, no, I totally get that. I don't know if I like the fighter Hell Knight as they already have the Illrigger class. But Russell, this is something to keep in mind: is the Illrigger is a third-party class, so it's not a D&D official class. It is on D&D Beyond though, and not only that, it's also only a 5e class. They haven't updated it for 5.5e, which is funny because it actually came out on D&D Beyond at least after 5.5e came out. But I get what you mean. Okay. So yeah, Uh, the Infernal Wound. So it takes 1d6 damage when it has an Infernal Wound and it lasts for a minute. They can take it off with an action, or someone else can, or when they regain hit points. So, yeah, this is definitely better than the playtest. The playtest version, it was just fire damage, and a lot of things are immune to fire damage, especially demons. And in lore, devils are fighting demons a lot. So it makes sense that they get different damage types. But then level 7, we get advanced wounds. Oh, before I go into advanced wounds, would this be a good 3-level dip? I feel like it's fine. Like you get like it's pretty good at level 3. You get some elemental damage, you get an effect that you can put on enemies that refreshes on a short rest. It scales with constitution. Yeah, I think it's a pretty good level 3 dip. Not like an amazing one, but like, people like to do level 2 dips, level 1 dips into fighter even. So it could be worth it to go into this. Anyway, though, yeah, let's go to advanced wounds. When you roll your infernal wound die, you can apply one of the following effects. If you roll a 6 on the infernal wound die, the effect you choose has an additional devil's luck effect. Once you use this feature, you can't do so again until the start of your next turn. So once per round, you can do this. I'm assuming it affects all creatures that already have an infernal wound on them. So Purulence of Minadros, caustic pus erupts from the wound. Each creature in a 5-foot emanation originating from the target takes acid damage equal to your constitution modifier. And the target has a poison condition until the end of its next turn. And then if you roll a 6 on it, each creature that takes acid damage from this effect has a -1 penalty to its AC until the end of your next turn, which is really cool. This is actually a thing that I am implementing in my I have a swamp themed ranger subclass that's actually coming out next month. And its whole thing is when it deals acid damage, it has an effect very similar to this. So that's pretty cool to see it in official stuff. But again, this is a thing that you can't reliably do. It's something that you have to get a devil's luck roll. Oh yeah, I agree, Russell. That would be a good dip for Hexblade Warlock. Um, if you roll a 6 on the Infernal Wound die, the effect you choose has an additional Devil's Luck effect. So, would this affect all targets with an Infernal Wound if you have multiple targets with Infernal Wound? I think it would, including the Devil's Luck effect. That's pretty cool. Rupture of Cania. The wound ruptures with a spurt of arcane energy. The target takes force damage equals to your Constitution modifier. Okay, they just take like 3, 4, or 5 con damage. That's fine. That's reliable. If they're close to your allies, that could be a good one to use. Devil's Luck, the target subtracts 1d6 from the next saving throw it makes before the end of your next turn. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good one. And then Stygiant Gangrene, Infernal Rime spreads from the wound. The target takes cold damage equal to your con mod, and it can't take reactions until the start of your next turn. Okay. The target's speed is halved until the end of its next turn. Is the Devil's Luck effect. Okay. Yeah, I feel like Stygian Gangrene would be one that I would probably use most often, unless I know I'm fighting a creature that's immune or resistant to cold damage. because Rupture of Cania does the same damage as Stygian Gangrene, but Stygian Gangrene has a rider effect, whereas Rupture of Cania doesn't, but it's a more reliable damage type. I think they should change Rupture of Cania, mostly because it's just kind of boring, unless you get the Devil's Luck effect. Oh, it was the same. It was the same in the last playtest. Okay, yeah, that one's just boring. Um, this is much better than the previous playtest, though. It's just so, huh? Once you use this feature, you can't do so again until start your next turn. Yes. Yeah, so in the previous version, it required, it was all random. These were all random. No. Sorry. It's not that it was random. It's that only something happened when you rolled a 6. Now, so it wasn't random. You could pick, but now you can pick just every turn once on your turn, and then there's a chance that more happens. I think that's much better because before it was like, if I don't roll a 6, I don't have a feature. You know, so much better now. And then Infernal Equipment. Whenever you finish a short or long rest, you can choose a damage type, cold, fire, necrotic. While wearing heavy armor or wielding a shield, you have resistance to that damage type until you choose a different one with this feature. When you roll your Infernal Wound die, you can treat a roll of 1 as a 6. Okay, that's really nice that we're seeing this at level 7. There was an ability similar to this in the playtest at level, yeah, this was a level 18 ability. And if you want, you can look back at my last stream I did for this. I said that this should be a lower level ability, and they freaking did it. So this makes the Infernal Wounds way more interesting, way more reliable, and it's only level 7. Like, that's a really nice buff. So that makes it like there is a like 33% chance that you'll get to get the Devil's Luck ability. That's pretty sweet. Yeah. Okay. I like it so far. Let's look at Hellfire Surge. I had a specific thing I wanted this to do. Let's see what it does. When you use your action surge while holding a Hellforged weapon, you erupt with Hellfire and a 20-foot emanation originating from you that lasts until the end of your next turn. Whenever a creature suffering an Infernal Wound starts its turn within the emanation, it takes damage equal to 2 rolls of your Infernal Wound die instead of 1. Okay. Wow. So, okay, that's a lot better. So you roll twice, and that's you rolling your Infernal Wound twice. So that means there's an even higher chance that you can get a Devil's Luck ability. Oh my gosh. And then the previous one was like completely different. Like, it was Action Surge. You erupt in a 10-foot emanation originating from you. Each creature of your choice in the emanation must succeed on a dexterity saving throw, or they take fire damage equal to a roll of your Infernal Wound die, and they're burning. Yeah. So it's completely different. I like this a lot better. But yeah, it's a completely different ability now. It used to be AoE fire damage with a burning add-on. I would like it if they kept the burning aspect, though. That would be pretty cool. Whenever a creature suffering an infernal wound starts its turn within the emanation, it takes damage equal to 2 rolls of your infernal wound die instead of 1. And they start burning. I don't know. I feel like that would be nice. Okay, let's read Devil's Misfortune. When a creature with an infernal wound hits you with an attack roll, you can take a reaction to roll your infernal wound die and reduce the damage taken by the number rolled. Okay. On a roll of 6, roll your infernal wound die again, the maximum of 3 rolls total, and reduce the damage taken by the total rolled. In addition, if the attack is a critical hit, it becomes a normal hit. Huh. Let me read Bacon Commander's comment first. Burning is great. They need to use an action to somehow stop burning, right? Yes, they do. And then that would be on top of their infernal wound that they would need to also take an action to get rid of. Yeah, I would have really liked that if they kept that in somehow. But they could still. This is still UA. So Devil's Misfortune. It's a reaction reduction to damage. It's only 1d6, but again, because of Unholy Power, when you roll Infernal Wound die, you can treat a roll of 1 as a 6. So you have a higher chance to roll. Your minimum is a 2. And then you have a 33% chance of rolling a 6. And if you roll a 6, then you roll Infernal Wound die again to a maximum of 3 total rolls. So let's say you roll all 3. That's an average of like 11 damage reduced as a reaction at level 15. And then if it's a critical hit, it becomes a normal hit. Huh. I feel like it's a lot of work for not a lot of benefit. Yeah, I don't really like this that much. It's good, but it's just a lot. It's a lot of thinking for just a little bit of damage reduction, especially at level 15. Huh. But you can do this every turn. There's no limit. So that's something to think about. I just feel like fighters can have a lot of other uses for their reactions. Burning could also be a weapon effect. Is that in there? Nope. It's not. That would be pretty cool. Okay, level 18, Infernal Bargain. When you roll a 6 on your Infernal Wound die 3 or more times before the start of your next turn, you gain Heroic Inspiration. Okay. You can use Heroic Inspiration in the following way, plus the normal use, I guess. Oh, you gotta go? I got a million things to do and only 4 hours to do them. I'll have to check out the VOD when I'm not so stuck for time. Yeah, that would be great, Kevin. Thank you for hanging out, though. And I hope you are able to do everything you need to do. Peace out. If a creature you can see within 120 feet of you rolls a d20 for a d20 test, you can expend your Heroic Inspiration to force the target to reroll the d20. If the number rolled causes the target to succeed on the d20 test, you regain an expended use of Indomitable or Second Wind, your choice. Okay, that's pretty cool. If the number rolled causes the target to fail the d20 test, you lose hit points equal to 3d6 plus your fighter level. Okay, so you get a way to gain Heroic Inspiration, and then you get to use Heroic Inspiration differently. And these are some pretty good benefits. I've never seen a subclass ability that gives you back base class abilities. That's new. That's kind of cool. If the number rolled causes the target to fail the d20 test, you lose hit points equal to 3d6 plus your fire level. Okay. Oh, man. Oh, this is all one thing. Wow. That's really it's a little complicated though. So when you roll a 6 on your Infernal Wound die 3 or more times before the start of your next turn, they have to keep track of how many times you're rolling d6s, getting 6s on d6s on Infernal Wounds. Then, if a creature you can see within 120 feet of you rolls a d20 or a d20 test, you can expend Heroic Inspiration to force the target to re-roll. And then, if the number rolled causes the target to succeed on the d20 test, then you regain an expended use of Indomitable or Second Wind. If the number rolled causes the target to fail the d20 test, you lose hit points equal to 3d6 plus your fighter level. So this is meant to help your ally. It's not meant to be a debuff. Oh, it's a 20 for a d20 test. Ah, typo. They did a typo. If a creature you can see within 120 feet of you rolls a 20 for a d20 test. Wait, what? If the number rolled causes the target to succeed on the d20 test, that's good for you. If it causes them to fail, it's bad for you? But they rolled a 20 already. Huh. Okay, I get it now. It's a lot of give and take. So you use this on an enemy. You're supposed to use this on an enemy to negate their d20. They have to re-roll. If they succeed, you still get something out of it. You get an expended use of Indomitable or Second Wind. Or if they fail, then you lose HP. 3d6 plus your fighter level, that's a lot of damage. But you are level 18. It is called Infernal Bargain. It makes sense. Yeah, I like it. It's just that took me a while to understand fully what was happening. And I feel like that would be the case for a lot of players, you know? You get what you want, but you take damage. Yeah. I like it, but yeah, I do think they could have done a better job at making that more simple. It's just a little it's just a little much, you know? I like it when they try to keep things more simple, you know? But it is pretty cool. I think they just need to simplify some things, and then this subclass is great. It's definitely not amazing for the level, but you have to understand you can use this with any use of Heroic Inspiration, not just the ones you get from Infernal Bargain. Okay, now the Demonic Sorcery Sorcerer. This one I wasn't that impressed with in the first playtest. So let's see what they can do. What they did. Abyssal Rupture, level 3. When you use Innate Sorcery, you create a rupture into the abyss, which fills a 10-foot radius sphere centered on a point you can see within 30 feet of yourself. Originally, this was an emanation. Where is it? Where is it? Oh. Yeah, where is it? Oh, Abyssal Aura. It was level 6 ability. Yeah, it was a 10-foot emanation last time. Now it's a level 3 ability, and it's now a 10-foot radius sphere. You can choose one of the following options. While the rupture persists, you can move the center of the sphere to a point you can see within 30 feet of yourself at the start of each of your turns. Okay, so it's a sphere you can move around. Ooh, ooh, ooh. As a bonus action, uh, oh, also, okay, this is good. Moving the sphere does not cost a bonus action. It's just at the start of your turn. That's super nice because if it costs a bonus action, that would really clutter up um sorcerer abilities because they have a lot of like quicken spell stuff, they want to do. So when you activate your innate sorcery, but you do have to use your bonus action to use demonic lash or terrifying screams. Let's read these options. Demonic Lash, make a melee spell attack against a target within 5 feet of the rupture. On a hit, the target takes 1d8 slashing damage. And if the target is larger or smaller, you can pull it up to 10 feet towards the center of the sphere. No saving throw, they just have to hit. That's super clean. That's super nice. Terrifying Screams. Each creature in the rupture must succeed on a wisdom saving throw against your spell save DC or take 1d4 psychic damage. Okay. So you could activate innate sorcery, place the 10-foot radius sphere, and with that same bonus action, activate Terrifying Screams. All creatures within it make a Wisdom saving throw, and if they fail, they take 1d4 psychic damage. That's pretty low damage, huh? But it is a sorcerer. A lot of sorcerer abilities are pretty low damage since they're pretty powerful on their own. I would use Demonic Lash most of the time. Let's see. I favorite that Demonic Lash, like Ghost Rider's Chain. Flavor, yeah. Ask the DM to make it bludgeoning. That would be cool, yeah. And these options are amped by your base class features. I love this class. Yeah. Yeah, so far, it's pretty good. Let's look at the spell list, though. We got Bane, Dissonant Whispers, Spike Growth, and Web for level 3. Previously, we had Detect Magic, Entangle, Misty Step, and Spider Climb. Very different spells. I like Web. I like Spike Growth. Dissonant Whispers is, I think it makes sense though with the control stuff going on. Bane is also pretty good. Yeah, way better spells. We got level 5, we got Bestow Curse and Dispel Magic. I like Bestow Curse. Before it was Gaseous Form, Bestow Curse is definitely better. Giant Insect and Hallucinatory Terrain. I like that. Not so much Hallucinatory Terrain, that's just whatever. Giant Insect, though, is a great spell. Not only that, though, it makes sense for a demonic sorcerer because, like, there's like the Chasme demon. It's not like these insects aren't technically demons, but you could flavor them as like demonic. A lot of demons are more animalistic than fiends are, for example. I actually used giant insect recently on my druid, and it was very effective. So yeah, great spell. Then level 9, we got Contact Other Plane and Modify Memory. Makes perfect sense for a demonic sorcerer. Used to be Contact Other Plane and Hallow. Modify Memory, I definitely would use more often than Hallow. But I play in a high roleplay campaign, so maybe that's why. Okay. Abyssal Realm. When you spend at least one sorcery point as part of a magic action or a bonus action on your turn, you can pull influence from the abyss. When you do, you create a 10-foot emanation originating from you. Oh, okay. Or you fill the sphere of your abyssal rupture with magic from one of the following layers of the abyss. So you can choose. That's interesting. I'm just absorbing this. So, yeah, you get options. Um Before it was random. So they liked I like that they people realized that the randomness was not fun. So now you choose, and it can be around you or around the abyssal rupture. Okay, just making sure I understood that. So we get Gaping Maw's Frenzy, Maze of Azatar, and Slime Pit's Haze. Gaping Maw's Frenzy, designate a direction that is horizontal to you. Each creature in that area that fails a charisma saving throw must use as much of its movement as possible to move in that direction at the start of its next turn, taking the safest route. Okay. Very clear. This is meaning that they have to use their dash action and everything. That's some serious control. With spike growth, oh my gosh. And oh my god, this is so cool. Because you can have this affect the rupture or you. Oh my gosh. That could get crazy. And it's every bonus act. Like it's every time like you use a sorcery point to quicken spell something, you can use this. Next turn, you can do it again. That's really cool. Okay, let's look at the other option though. Maze of Azatar. Each creature in the area makes an intelligence saving throw. On a failed save, you gain the benefits of the invisible condition against the target until the start of your next turn. I could see that being used on yourself when you're surrounded by enemies. That'd be really effective. Slime Pit's Haze. Each creature in the area makes a Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, the target has your choice of the charmed or poison condition until the start of your next turn. Okay. I feel like I won't use that one as much, but it could be useful. That could also be useful when you're being surrounded. If you think they are charmable creatures. I feel like that's a good defense one. But honestly, poison condition is pretty good just overall if things aren't immune to it. So far, I freaking love this subclass. Holy crap. I'm really big into control though, and this is like the control sorcerer. Holy, oh my gosh. So you can move the rupture every turn at the start of your turn 50 feet. Then every time you spend a sorcery point, you can have one of these effects affect you or the rupture. Oh, I would love to play this. Oh my gosh. Multi-classing, by the way? I'm pretty satisfied here at level 6. Oh, wow. Oh, I would at least go to 7 to get Giant Insect. And then go like Warlock or something. Oh, wow. Well, let's see. Let's see if the level 14 ability is good enough that I might want something else. Front loaded just the way it should be. Yeah. Not totally. Okay, the size of your abyssal rupture is now a 30-foot radius sphere, and the area is difficult terrain for your enemies. That is really, really nice, I have to say. Fiendish Servant. You always have the Summon Fiend spell prepared. When you cast a spell, you can modify it so it doesn't require concentration. When you do so, the spell's duration becomes 1 minute. Guys, Summon Fiend is a 7th level spell. No, a 6th level spell. That's pretty crazy. You must choose the demon when you summon the fiend. In addition, the fiend has advantage on attack rolls while within your abyssal rupture. Okay, the demon is the worst option for summon fiend, but this is a concentration free level 6 summon. And you could totally quicken spell cast this. And then remember, your rupture is now a 30-foot radius sphere. A 30-foot radius sphere is huge, and you can move it 30 feet at the start of every turn. And so that demon getting advantage on all of its attack rolls is basically guaranteed because you can always move the rupture around at the start of your turn. That demon is going to be doing 3 bite attacks, and each bite attack is 1d12 plus 9 necrotic damage. Let's say at advantage. Let's say they all hit, okay? Just hypothetically. That you're looking at just 46.5 damage. Also, you could concentrate on something else. Just 46.5 damage. Non-concentration. Summon. That doesn't require any action economy to, have it deal damage. Oh my gosh. I want to check to see. You could just cast Summon Fiend a second time and concentrate on Summon Fiend. I think it's actually pretty good. Because think about this. This is a concentration-free level 6 spell. And yes, the demon is the worst, but it's concentration-free. And the bite attack, you're making 3 bite attacks because the spirit makes a number of attacks equal to half the spell's level. So that is 1d12 plus 9 damage per bite attack. And then the demon also gets this Death Throes trait. When the spirit drops to 0 hit points or the spell ends, the spirit explodes. And it does like an AoE damaging ability. I actually would prefer not to have it. It also has magic resistance. It's resistant to fire. It's immune to poison and the poison condition. 50 hit points. And the AC, it has AC, as 18 AC. And 40 foot climb speed. Yeah, because you could totally cast this and then cast Summon Fiend again, and you could have the devil option. So you could have 2 demons. And you're doing like 100 damage just with your summons, probably. That's pretty crazy. Ooh. You do have to use the spell slot, though. It's not a free casting. So you wouldn't have 2 6-level spells. So that's something to keep in mind. But you could cast like Giant Insect at level 5. You probably want to cast at level 4. Yeah. Anyway, eventually you could cast 2. You could have 2 summons up. Let's go ahead and read Abyssal Explosion. You unleash the chaos of the abyss as a magic action. You fill a 30-foot radius sphere with an explosion of abyssal energy. Each creature in the sphere makes a Constitution saving throw against your spell save DC. On a failed save, a creature takes 8d6 force damage. If it isn't a fiend and it has the incapacitate condition until the start of your next turn. Okay, so you can fill it. Okay, so this is just a sphere. Does it have a range? It just says you unleash the chaos of the abyss as a magic action. You can you fill a 30-foot radius sphere with an explosion of abyssal energy. Each creature in the sphere makes a Constitution saving throw against your spell save DC. On a failed save, a creature takes 8d6 force damage, and if it isn't a fiend, and it has the incapacitated condition until the start of your next turn. So your summon fiend would be immune to this. Once you use this feature, you can't do so again until you finish that long rest, unless you spend 7 sorcery points, no action required, to restore your use of it. Huh. There's no range. They need to add a range. Because it just says you can fill a 30-foot radius sphere. It's not saying that it's not your abyssal rupture. It's just a 30-foot sphere somewhere. That's kind of boring, honestly. They are incapacitated, though. It's strong because they're incapacitated. That's only if they fail, though. Huh. I think it's... Yeah, actually, honestly, it's actually pretty good since it incapacitates. But they do need to put a range on this. Yeah, I honestly think... Is the level 14 feature too strong? A level 6 summon. It is the weakest one out of the 3. But a level 6 summon is pretty crazy to just have without concentration. Again, it only has 50 hit points. So maybe it's fine. I'm just surprised they did that. Actually, can you upcast it? Oh my gosh, I just didn't even realize that because you're using a spell slot. You always have the summon fiend spell prepared. When you cast the spell, you can modify it. So, oh my gosh, so you can upcast this. Okay. Yeah, you can upcast it. So you could, again, would you want to though? Probably not, because you would have to at least do a level 8 spell to upcast it, and it would only have like 65 HP. Because level 7 would no, it would have more than that. It would have like 80 HP. Because it's 30 more. 80 HP doing 4 attacks. Yeah, it probably wouldn't be worth it, but that's something you could do. You could upcast it to level 8, and it could be doing 4 attacks. Anyway, I think that this is a really good sorcerer, and holy crap, you are the control master here. I personally really like it. I think the spells are good. Yeah, I'm a fan. I think all the Abyssal Realms are pretty good too. Like, maybe I'm really into sorcerers though. I like sorcerers. Let's go ahead and look at the feats though. I'm starting to get a little tired. We got origin feats and epic boon feats. Oh, do I really want to read the epic boon feats? I'll read them, but I might not talk about them much. Just because epic boon feats are cool, but origin feats are more usable. So keep in mind, guys, these are origin feats. So theoretically, these could be taken as your human species trait. Are you out of donuts and coffee? I actually still have coffee right here. So Russell, the reason why you can upcast it is it specifically says you always have the summon fiend spell prepared. And also so you have it prepared. The Shadow Sorcerer Summon Beast is not on their list. They don't have it prepared. You don't get a free preparation with Shadow Sorcerer. I'll show you. So you can just cast Summon Beast without expending a spell slot, without preparing the spell, and without material components. Oh. Yeah, whenever you cast a spell, you can modify it so it doesn't require. If you have Summon Beast from a different source, you could do it though. You could upcast it. I got a great deal at the supermarket, I think, because it was the end of the day, but I got a dozen donuts for $10 and they're all really good, not crappy little box ones. Dude, that's awesome. That's a good deal. That's less than $1 per donut. Nice. So yeah, so these theoretically can be used on a human as a species option or on a warlock for no problem, Russell. For your what's it called? Lessons of the First One's invocation. So keep that in mind. Atoner's Grace. You gain the following benefits: disarming main. A creature's hostile attitude doesn't impose disadvantage on your charisma persuasion checks to influence that creature. So this is like new rule stuff. They have this thing where there's the influence action, and hostile creatures have you do it at disadvantage, and this makes it so you just roll normally. That's pretty cool. Parlay: when you take the disengage or influence action, each creature of your choice within 5 feet of you has advantage on the next ability check or saving throw it makes before the start of your next turn. Okay. Honestly, one of my fellow players in my main D&D group would love this feat. He always plays charisma characters, and he loves to persuade people and influence how people act and stuff. Oh my gosh, yeah. That's pretty cool. I feel like a lot of optimizer type people wouldn't find the value in this because a lot of optimizers tend to mostly think about combat, but I think this is a cool origin feat. Then we got Raised by Cultist. I love the name of that. Bloody Revelation. When you become bloodied, you can take a reaction to gain heroic inspiration. Dang! That's cool. And then Communal Caster. When an ally within 5 feet of you makes a Constitution saving throw to maintain concentration, you can take a reaction to give your ally advantage on the save. I don't like that one. If they made the range bigger, I would like it. But that's like so situational. Your ally needs to be making a con save. It uses your reaction. And it isn't when they fail, it's when they make the con save that you have to use this reaction. So maybe they would have passed it anyway, and you're using your whole reaction on the off chance that they won't. And they have to be within 5 feet of you. Yeah. I'm not a fan of that. But the Bloody Revelation is good enough that I could see maybe as a warlock picking this up for Lessons of the First Ones. Maybe? Still a maybe. Yeah, I think make Communal Caster have a larger range. Even if it's like 15 feet, that's better. But it's also it's very party dependent. If you don't have a lot of casters or you are the main caster in your group, then this is kind of useless to you, you know? But then we got Trapper. You have advantage on any intelligence investigation check you make as part of the study action. Cool. Swift Tracker. You don't have disadvantage on wisdom, perception, or survival checks while you're traveling at a fast pace. Okay, that's cool. And you have advantage on such checks while traveling at a normal pace. Like it. Trap Expert. You can take a bonus action instead of a utilize action to set a hunting trap. When you set a hunting trap, you can add your proficiency bonus to the DC of the saving throw to avoid the trap in the DC of the check to escape it. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's look at hunting trap. just so we can get the math on this. Okay. I saw Bruce's video and he mentioned that traps are big and heavy in D&D, and yes, bear traps are indeed heavy, but snare wire is not at all. Yeah. So it is 25 pounds. Moment. The wife is texting me. But like, you know, if you're a strength based character, 25 pounds isn't too much. Also only costs 5 gold. If you have a bag of holding, it's not a big deal. A creature that steps on the plate must succeed on a DC 13 dexterity saving throw or take 1d4 piercing damage and have its speed reduced to 0 until the start of its next turn. That speed reduction is really good. Thereafter, until the creature breaks free of the trap, its movement is limited by the length of the chain, typically 3 feet. Oh, so you have to have a chain too. Creature can use its action to make a DC 13 strength athletics check, freeing itself or another creature within its reach on a success. Each failed check deals 1 piercing damage to the trapped creature. Okay, so the trap is affixed by a heavy chain to an immobile object, such as a tree. Okay. Or driven into the ground. So I feel like you would have to be very specific. Like, I feel like you can't use this in a building that has stone floors, for example, because it has to be affixed to something like a tree or a spike driven into the ground. If you just need something to wrap the chain around, but you're able to use that as a bonus action, I guess. Okay. And then what did it say exactly? It's, oh my god, why did it scroll all the way up? That's so annoying. So when you set a hunting trap, you add your proficiency bonus to the DC of the saving throw to avoid the trap, and the DC of the check to escape it. Okay. So here at level, well, let's say it's an origin feat. It's like a 15 DC, and it can go all the way up to a 19 DC. So just like spells, basically. Like if you have like a 20 in your stat. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty good. Bonus action, setting a hunting trap, making creatures when they fail their speed 0, and they deal some damage. I like it. I like it. Plus all this other stuff you get. Underhanded, you gain the following benefits. Elusive, immediately after you roll initiative, you can move up to 10 feet. That's cool. Fight dirty, when a creature one size larger than you or smaller makes an opportunity attack against you and misses. You can, what? When a creature one size larger than you or smaller makes an opportunity attack against you and misses. Okay, so very specific thing happening. You can take a reaction and give that creature the prone condition. What? You must have a free hand to use this reaction? That's a weird one. So you provoke an opportunity attack. A creature that's bigger than you hits you. Oh, larger than you or smaller. Wait, what? One size larger or smaller. Wait. So you can't be the same size? Is that what it's saying? When a creature one size larger than you or one size smaller? Or small? No. Or smaller. So they can be medium, or like if you're medium, they can be medium or small. Okay. I think that's what it's meant to be. It's meant to be read as one creature one size larger than you or smaller. Like, or smaller than large. Yeah. So if you're medium, a large creature, a medium creature, or a small creature. Okay. We got that. Makes an opportunity attack. So you provoke an opportunity attack from this size creatures, which is pretty common sizes. You can take a reaction. So you use your reaction, and that creature just becomes prone. But they still sorry. They have to miss too. So those specific sizes makes an opportunity attack, and they have to miss. If they hit you, this doesn't work. You use your reaction if they miss you, and then that creature is prone. And you have to have a free hand to use this reaction. Yeah, I don't like this one. That's weird. There's just too many stipulations. And uses your yeah, I don't like it. It's not like bad. It's just it's bad because the frequency isn't going to be often. Unless you have a high AC and you're running around all over the place and you really want to knock creatures prone. It is nice that it doesn't have a like they don't have to fail a save or anything. Maybe it is good. I don't know. Let's go ahead and check out these epic boons though. I'm gonna try to speed through these a bit though, because I'm starting to run out of time. So yeah, epic boon. Any ability score for this one, Boon of the Bandit King. Dastardly Charm. You have advantage on Dex sleight of hand checks to pick a pocket when you succeed on a check. You can cause the target of your theft to willingly part with the item and have the charm condition for 1 minute or until it takes damage. Once you use this benefit, you can't use it again until you finish a short or long rest. You don't okay. This is interesting, guys. Think about this. So a lot of these abilities that inflict the charm condition rely on the creature being charmed. This specifically says you steal the object. If you succeed on it, you can cause the target of your theft to willingly part with the item and have the charm condition for 1 minute or until it takes damage. So its willingness to give you the item is not tied to the charm condition. But they also, unrelated, can become charmed for a minute or until they take damage. Okay. It is just kind of weird. So no matter what, no saving throw. Well, you have to succeed on the sleight of hand check. But no, if you succeed on a sleight of hand check, they're willingly going to give you the item, not tied to the charm. I think it should be tied to the charm. It is an epic boon feat, though. Maybe it's fine. And then we have Uncatchable. You don't provoke opportunity attacks when you move out of a creature's reach. Okay. When else would you provoke opportunity attacks? Anyway, Boon of the Cleansed Heart. Ability score increase. Any. Cleanse Heart. You can cast Dispel Evil and Good without expending a spell slot. You can't use the spell's dismissal special function when you cast it in this way. Okay, well, let's look it up. Let's look it up real quick. So Dispel Evil and Good is a 5th level spell. Dismissal is, as a magic action, you target one creature you can see within 5 feet of you that has one of the creature types above. Celestial, Elemental, Fae, Fiends, or Undead. Target must succeed on a Charisma saving throw or be sent back to its home plane if it isn't there already. Okay, so you cannot use Dismissal. So you can only use Break Enchantment. As a magic action, you touch a creature that is possessed by or has the charmed or frightened condition from one or more creatures of the types above. Target is no longer possessed, charmed, or frightened by such creatures. And These creature types have disadvantage on attack rolls against you. In the spell early by using either the following spell functions. Okay, so you all these creature types have disadvantage on attack rolls against you, and if you want, you can break the spell early. It's a concentration spell, by the way, to get rid of possession, charmed, or frightened, if it's caused by one of those creatures types. Okay. And what does this do? You can cast a spell evil and good without expending a spell slot. And okay, and you just can't use the dismissal option. But I guess you can just keep casting it. That's the thing. Is there's no limit. Just you can keep casting it without expending a spell slot. So you can just always have that up if you want. That would be cool to have on a character that isn't a caster, so they're not going to be concentrating on anything anyway. Be kind of nice. Especially because at high levels you're often fighting creature types like that. And then we have Radiant Reflection. You have immunity to necrotic damage. When you would be subjected to necrotic damage and don't have the incapacitated condition, you can deal 2d8 radiant damage to each creature of your choice within a 10-foot emanation originating from yourself. Okay. When you would be subjected to necrotic damage and don't have the incapacitated condition. Oh my gosh. That's kind of cool. Okay, if you're in an undead campaign, oh my gosh, this could be awesome. So you're immune to necrotic damage, and every single time you would have taken necrotic damage, you can deal 2d8 radiant damage within a 10-foot emanation from yourself. And that's not once per turn. So you can just, every single time you get necrotic damage dealt on you, you don't take it, and you deal 2d8 necrotic damage around you. If this was on like a fighter or something, that would be pretty cool, because you can just tank and have, well, survivability. You know, you can frontline and you can have disadvantage on all your the undead, all their attack rolls are at disadvantage, and then you have this cool Radiant Reflection. Yeah, I like it. I think it's cool. Then we have Boon of the Hunter's Eye. Increase one ability score, any ability score, by 1 to maximum of 30. Quick capture. When you deal damage to a creature you intend to knock out rather than kill, if the target has 20 or fewer hit points after your damage is dealt, the target is reduced to 0 hit points instead. Okay, that's fine. Studied Hunter. When you roll initiative, you can choose a creature you can see. You know whether the creature has any vulnerabilities. Okay, so you get the Hunter Ranger ability on one creature when you roll initiative. That's just okay. Boon of Unwavering Devotion. Again, another any ability score. Possession immunity. You automatically succeed on saving throws to avoid or end possession. Very rare, very, very rare. They added some more monsters that have that in the Ravenloft book, but still pretty rare. See-through illusions. Visual illusions appear transparent to you, and you automatically succeed on saving throws against them. That's cool. It's kind of like True Sight, but a bit different. Just one aspect of True Sight. And then Undeniable Confidence. Immediately after a creature you can see succeeds on a Wisdom saving throw against an effect you created, you can take a reaction to force that creature to re-roll the save, and it must use the new roll. Once you use this benefit, you can't use it again until you finish a short or long rest. Huh. This is a weird one. The possession immunity will basically never come up. Seeing through illusions, it's like baby True Sight. Undeniable Confidence, you're probably a caster, and you basically get one use. You get one use of the sorcerer's empowered spell per short rest. Yeah, I don't think I would take this. It's not bad, but it's not for me. So yeah, that is the document. I think they nailed the sorcerer. I think the Circle of the Titan is pretty good with some fixes to the stat blocks. And I think the Hell Knight's looking pretty good. It's a little overcomplicated in some aspects, and that's one thing that I will rate it low on, especially Devil's Misfortune. I think it's too much for too little benefit. Yeah, I agree. I think the epic boon feats, a lot of them are pretty weak and kind of weird. Um I do like a lot of the origin feats, especially I really like Parlay, I think is cool. More roleplay centered origin feats I think is fun. Um I Raised by Cultists, half of it's good, other half weird. Trapper I love just completely as is, great. Underhanded, Fight Dirty is way too situational. Yeah, very team oriented, yeah. Yeah, Underhanded, it just, yeah, I don't like it. How would I fix Underhanded? Ranja Ranja, Danja Danja. I think I would make it when a creature, it can, yeah, the size limitations are fine. Makes an opportunity attack against you, hit or miss. You can take your reaction, give that creature the prone condition. And get rid of, you must have a free hand to use this reaction. Because you could do a leg sweep. Like what's happening thematically? I think that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like you, like why do you have to have a hand free? Are you pushing them? Like what's going on? I don't understand what thematically is happening. Yeah, get rid of the free hand, needing a free hand. You got legs, supposedly. Not everyone has legs, but you have a high chance of having legs. Leg sweep them. Uh yeah, dirty fighters use all the body parts. Exactly. Exactly. And yeah, I think getting a third ability would be fine, even with the buff to fight dirty. Cobra Kai, yeah. Like I could see, it's called Underhanded. I could see adding some sort of deception buff would be fitting. That way you got two combat abilities and you have one roleplay ability. Like let's say like maybe something similar to like the disarming, this one. Uh a creature's hostile attitude doesn't impose disadvantage on charisma persuasion checks to influence that creature. Have Underhanded be the same thing, but deception. I feel like that would be perfect. Like, let me double check that though. Do hostile creatures have disadvantage? Is it all charisma checks? Like, do you have disadvantage against all charisma checks against hostile creatures? Let me go to hostile. Freaking D&D Beyond. Oh my god. Hostile. Friendly. Okay. There we go. Hostile, hostile, hostile. A hostile creature views you unfavorably. You have disadvantage on an ability check to influence a hostile creature. Yeah. So influence is deception. Give Underhanded the same thing that Atoner's Grace has, but for deception. Boom. Remove the free hand of fighting dirty, needing a free hand, and remove that it only works on a miss. Boom. Underhanded is a great feat now. Yeah, in my opinion. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. How many people are in? I don't really check that often. I just want to see if there's enough people in to maybe talk about some other stuff. Oh, we got like 5 people in here. I was thinking about talking about the release timeline and what we think is going to happen. I think that would be good. Yeah, no problem. So the roadmap, and I'm talking about official releases. Rogue, D&D roadmap. Let's look at the roadmap real quick. So yeah, we got this. We got this in like I think it was February. No, you. Where is the okay? So here's the. Oh wait, can you guys even see this right now? Let me get. Yeah, you guys can see. So we got the roadmap here. So Ravenloft: The Horrors Within was announced when this roadmap came out, if I'm not mistaken. And that was was it February that this happened? I just want to get the dates right. March, like the beginning of March. At least this is when this article was released. And so March, April, May, June, July. So we're in June right now. So it came out 3 months after it was announced. And a lot of people, it says Arcana Unleashed. The date hasn't been announced. It's been announced, but not the date. Arcana Unleashed, I feel like it'll be announced at Gen Con. I feel like that would make the most sense because Gen Con is soon. So the release date to Arcana Unleashed will be announced. And then, the Character Builder 2.0 is going to be in the fall, guys. That's freaking awesome. I'm so excited for that. And then Season of Champions to be announced. I think that book will be announced, but not the date. Based on the playtest, what do you guys think will be Season of Champions? What's the book? I think we're not getting Dark Sun for Season of Champions. I don't think we're getting Dark Sun. I think that'll be a 2027 thing. But remember, guys, there was also when was this though? There was this subclasses playtest last October. This subclasses playtest had a lot of martials. It had the Spiritual Guardian Barbarian. It had the Storm Herald Barbarian. And it had the Cavalier Fighter. It had the Warrior of Intoxication Monk. It had the Oathbreaker Paladin. I could see this being in the villain thing though. What do you guys think? Do you think because it works out timeline wise? That's not that many subclasses though. Timeline wise, that works out. There's also some subclasses that were in other playtests that might not be in the Dark Sun book that's eventually coming out. Also, the arcane subclasses. I could see the tattooed monk because monks are martial class. I could see the tattooed monk being moved from Arcana Unleashed to instead being a part of whatever the Season of Champions book is. And then what else? Yeah. So I think there's going to be some martial focused book that doesn't have that many subclasses that comes out. In December. Yeah. That's my guess. Ugh. A lot of people. Could we get Dark Sun? I just don't think Dark Sun matches the Season of Champions title. You know, what do you guys think? Like, Dark Sun just, I don't think of champions. I guess gladiators are champions. And gladiator fighter was one of the subclasses. Maybe we are getting Dark Sun in December, guys. That would be pretty exciting. Anyway, I'm gonna call the stream though. Thank you guys for hanging out, and I'm gonna come out with more content soon. I've just been a little busy lately ever since Ravenloft came out. So have a great rest of your day. Next, wait. I have one thing to announce. One last thing to announce, guys. The Beast Lord Patron Warlock I'm releasing on the 29th. So get stoked for that.